want to share a story with you today about an exchange I had with one of my favorite athletes. I've been a sports fan most of my life, and I think back over the history of the city and the athletes I've enjoyed. I think of Reggie Miller. I don't think anybody was ever bigger in the big moments than he was. He was huge. I always admired and enjoyed watching him. Peyton Manning, and I always admired how Peyton Manning always strove to get better and was always looking to become better than the year before. And I really enjoyed watching his progress. It was thrilling throughout the years. But there's one athlete in the Indianapolis sports scene who has a special place in my heart, and that's Tamika Catchings. Tamika Catchings is one of the greatest players in women's basketball easily. And I think I'm biased, but arguably the best WNBA player ever. She was a terror on the defensive end of the court, but she was also a terror on the offensive end of the court. And I think about a lot of the players that get a lot of accolades now, and there's nobody that matches her intensity and the effect she had on both ends. And that's why I see her as one of the greatest. I always wanted to meet her. And so I try to have opportunities. She's a business owner, and she owns a place called Tease Me, which is a place that serves tea, obviously. And she sometimes would say she was going to be there in little advertisements to try to boost business, but I could never quite get there. But what I want to do is rewind to some time ago. And I was on Facebook back when I was a third shift worker and just kind of goofing around, having fun. And so I searched her name, and she had a site there. So I went on there and left a comment thinking she would read it sometime or another, but lo and behold, she was live on there and she started talking back. And so I was really drowsy at the time, but I kept going. And I thought for sure, she's not going to mess with me. She's got better things to do. So, but I made a comment, I made a joke, and I said, it must really be fun to be you, LOL. And so she said, yeah, sometimes, and gave the big LOL. And we started going back and forth. And, this conversation on Facebook is getting to be like 10 minutes. I'm like, and I'm getting sleepy. Then it's stretching to 20. And so I'm enjoying talking to her. Obviously, I'm thrilled because she's one of my favorite athletes ever. But I was dozing off. So there's a strange thing that happens to me sometimes. I'll be sort of between being asleep and awake, and I'll drift into this little state where I'm kind of suspended in between. I'm actually kind of dreaming, but I'm still awake. So I was still going and following the conversation with you, but I was kind of in this little weird, like dream kind of awake state. And so what hit me all of a sudden, and things like this happen to me when I'm in that state, I got this poem that just flashed through my mind. And so I'm thinking, huh. And so I typed the poem in and like sent it to her. And she really stopped exchanging for a little bit. And I'm thinking, this is a hokey thing for me to do. Why do I do this? And so then she comes back on finally, and she's like talking about how much she likes it and everything. So I am about to fall asleep. So I started going back and forth. And I told her that I was looking forward to seeing her during the season. And she said, well, make sure you be there. And I said, I'm going to be there. So we did some LOLs, and that was the end of it. So I look back on this now, and I look at this poem, and I'm going to recite it for you and publish it on here, and I hope you enjoy it. And a lot of times I'll look at things I do, and I think it was being kind of hokey and goofy, but I look at this now, and I really enjoy it. So I'm hoping you will too. To give you a little context here, she was somewhere in Asia at the time, and so I'm here where I live in the United States. And so the first thing she says is good morning. And I'm thinking, what? And then I realized, yeah, it was morning where she was. But I'm, here the moon is out. And so maybe that was what triggered me with this poem. And so I'm going to read it now. And I want you to just listen to it. It's not really short. And then I'm going to post a text after I'm done. Ode to a Basketball Queen. Your good morning is my good night. Your sunshine, my moon glow. Though we trod the same sphere, we behold contrasting orbs of light.